In this video, I'm breaking down the exact credit cards I use to get over $100,000 in capital with 0% interest every year. Perfect for starting or scaling an Amazon business without paying anything to buy inventory. I'll show you the cards, the strategy, and how you can do the same process to grow your cash flow. Starting off here, we're going to be taking a look at the American Express Blue Business Plus credit card. I've used this every year that I've been selling, along with pretty much every other card in this list except for one I have personally used and cycle through different cards for this exact same card every single year. And we'll break down exactly why that is the case throughout this whole video. But just starting off here, something you're going to want to pay attention to when you're applying for different business credit cards is going to be annual fees for one. That is just a fee that the company is going to charge you every year that you hold a credit card, if there is one. And the reason why I like a lot of these cards in this list is because they all have $0 annual fees. Another reason, the whole point of this video is going to be intro APR. And APR stands for your interest rate on a yearly basis. So you can see here, it's got 0% for the first 12 months after you open the account. After that, you're going to get an interest rate of between these two percentages here. And if you want to know it on a monthly basis, since this is for the year, you'll just take whatever number you get after you open the card. It'll be in your welcome papers or your contract, if that's what you want to call it. And you'll take that number between these two, divide it by 12, and that way you can kind of estimate what your interest rate would be if you plan on holding the card for longer than a year and continuing to use it. Something else to pay attention to when looking at different cards is going to be your other welcome offer here. What do you get, if anything, for how much you spend in a certain amount of time? And usually a lot of cards have this. All the cards that I'm going to show you today have a welcome offer like this. So if you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, you'll get 15,000 bonus membership points, which can be used in tons of ways: travel, going out to eat at different restaurants, hotels, flights. You could even use the points to pay off your balance if you wanted to and get maybe some inventory for free if you have a ton of points. But if you don't have a bonus like this on a credit card that you're using every day, you're going to want to upgrade or get a different card that does, because in this business, we're spending thousands of dollars a month, if not in single days, and you might as well get something out of that rather than just your profit. It is a really good bonus to have something like this. A reason why I use American Express for most of my business credit cards is going to be because they don't impact your personal credit score. So if you've ever applied for a credit card before, whether personal or business, and you check on your personal credit score, you'll see that a part of that is going to be how many inquiries you have on your credit report. And American Express does not pull a hard pull for your personal credit. They do a soft pull, so it's not going to show up as an inquiry. Even though you're using your business EIN, for a lot of credit card companies, they do that hard pull. So this is a really good thing that they don't, because you can apply, you could get denied and it won't affect you. And you can apply for as many as you want and get approved for them, and it won't impact your personal credit score in that aspect. It also doesn't report to your credit score how much credit you used for any business credit card. So that part doesn't really matter as much, as long as you have your EIN and your company set up correctly. So this is going to be probably one of the top 3 cards in this list for beginners to use, even advanced sellers. The only downside with this credit card, I guess, compared to the last 2 that we're going to look at, is they are going to start you off with a credit limit. The first 4 cards in this list all have credit limits. So depending on your personal credit score on that soft pull, they will maybe give you a smaller limit as compared to a bigger limit for somebody that has a really good personal credit history, which isn't a big deal, because we'll walk through how to get that done and how to even combine these cards at the end of this video. The next one is going to be just a different variation of the blue business cards. They have 2. So that first one gave you points. This one is going to be cash back on every purchase that you make, which is going to be 2% cash back. It also has the 0% APR for 12 months, no personal credit impact here, $0 annual fee. These two cards are the main cards that I use and I've cycled through for the last 3 years. They're just really good cards to have. The next one is not going to be through American Express. It's going to be through Chase along with the one after this. This is a card, one of the first cards that I ever opened was this Chase Business Unlimited here. You get $750 cash back, $0 annual fee, and 0% APR for 12 months. As long as you spend $6,000 in the first 3 months. So maybe that'll be harder for newer sellers, but not as hard for some advanced sellers here. Next one, Chase 2, Business Cash Card. Same thing, 0% here, $750 after you spend $3,000 for $350, and then $400 when you spend $6,000. Something to note about this one that I just forgot to mention is going to be, it does say here cash back 1.5%, but in my 3 years of using this card, I've always gotten points for this card. So I'm not sure why it says cash back here. Maybe my situation is just different. I don't really have any explanation for that though, but I do get 1.5 points per dollar on every purchase. This one I haven't personally used, but I assume since it's a business cash card, it would be accurate saying that you're going to get cash back. So between points and cash back, it just kind of all depends on your personal preference. But sometimes, depending on the company and what you use the points for, you can get better value out of using points instead of cash back. Because when you maybe book a flight or a hotel, if that's what you're looking for, sometimes you get a 2-to-1 redemption value. So 1 point is worth $2, where if you got cash back, your $1 is only worth $1. The other cards that are not going to be so much for beginner sellers at this point, and also are the two that don't have a 0% promotion right now, but they do run pretty frequently, are going to be the American Express Gold and then the Business Platinum. And these were actually the first two cards that I got. The ink was the third card that I got. And the reason why these are really good cards is because there is no credit limit like the other four that we've looked at. So these are what's called charge cards, where American Express is just going to give you a certain amount of purchasing power that you can use every month or just across the board over the time that you have the cards. So it may give you a higher limit to start out rather than a proposed credit limit from the company based off your personal credit score. And these will just keep going up as you pay off the card after you use it every month. Like I said, the only downside with these right now is that they're not running a promotion, but I do currently have a gold card that just ran out of the 0%. It wasn't only a 6-month promotion, but 6 months ago, they had the promotion up until maybe a couple weeks ago, a month ago. So what I do is I'll typically just check these websites for these two, maybe once a month, just to see if they're running a 0% promotion. Same thing with these though. No personal credit inquiry and doesn't report to your credit score. Neither do the Chase cards. None of them do, but it's just good to know. The only difference with these, I guess, also is that they're going to have annual fees. So this one is going to be $325 a year, and this one is going to have $695. But if you're using this also personally, there are a lot of benefits that come with these cards that you can go through on your own and kind of add up the costs to see if it will equal out. Because sometimes if you're planning on buying certain things anyway, then you could make up these fees very easily in redemption value for the featured benefits. I'm not talking here about points that you'll earn or anything like that, where you get $150,000. It's just what else comes with the card in here. Statements for hotels, just depends on your personal life here. But to get to the main point of this video is going to be in this chart here. So what I like to do every single year is I'll open a new one of these credit cards. And it may be a little bit off of a year, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit afterwards. It kind of just depends on the credit card company, and it also depends on my personal situation, if I have other ones that are running at the time. But the whole goal of this is going to be that you can combine your credit limits together if you have them through the same company. You couldn't combine an American Express card with a Chase card, but if you have the Blue Business Plus from American Express and the Blue Business Cash from American Express, or if you have these two Chase cards, then you can do it. You can't do it from gold cards or platinum cards because there are no limits. But as long as you have a set limit on your card, what you're going to want to do is open up your first one, max it out, pay it off in full for, I'd like to say, 2 to 3 months. You're not really going to get anything increased if you do it in 1 month because these companies want to see history. They want to see payment history, and they also want to see usage history. So 2 to 3 months for me seem to be a good time frame in order to get this done. Once you have that done, max it out, wait till the statement closes, then you pay it off in full. Repeat that for 2 to 3 months. You can either call them or you can always find a spot on your account login for your web browser and you can request a credit limit increase. If you get told no, you're just going to want to do it again for another 1 to 2 months. That's when you can get lower on that because if you've already waited 2 to 3 months, adding 1 more month is going to usually be sufficient in that aspect. If you get your credit limit increased, then you're going to want to open up another one. So probably what you're going to want to do is start out with one of these cards, the Blue Business or the Blue Business Cash, and open one. Do these 3 steps. If you get an increase, you have 2 options really. You could wait until month 11 out of 12 for your promotion because that way you'll be able to use the full extent of the 0% promotion to the max. Or if you want to just get as big of a limit as you can in the beginning, you can skip that step and then you'll just have 2 cards, maybe one with a lot smaller of a limit, but you'll have a bigger credit limit. Something else to consider is if you have a card for 11 months and you've paid it off in full and you've maxed it out, then you have a lot higher chance of on maybe month 11 to request another increase. If you haven't been doing that the whole time throughout having it, you'll probably get a way bigger limit to be able to then combine with something. If you opened up 2, moved 1 over in the beginning, then you only have so much room to work with because say you get a $50,000 balance, you're going to have to spend a lot of money every month to be able to max that out rather than just taking it slow, starting small and building it up to that by month 11. So those are 2 routes that you could choose to take. Depends on your personal preferences and everything. But once you get the increase, you're going to want to open another card, do the same thing as the first one, so that way you can get a bigger limit on the second card, and then you're going to call a company and ask them to reallocate your credit limit. And basically what that just means is you're going to ask them to move your available credit from one card to the other card. So if you have a balance of $20,000 and your limit is $25,000, you're not going to be able to move $25,000. You're only going to be able to move $5,000. It's whatever you have available that you haven't spent, you can move. But as you pay down the card, you can continue to reallocate your credit. There's no maximum number of times that you can reallocate credit. If you maybe have $10,000 as a balance and you pay off 2, you can call them, have them move 2 over. You pay off another 2 or 3, you call them back the next week, you have them move that over too. There's no amount of times that you have a limit of when you can do that, but this is going to be the process that you're going to want to take and then just repeat this same process. You may get told by the company that you're not eligible for a promotion at this point. Usually they all have time limits on how long you have to wait until you can get another one. Sometimes it doesn't really come into play, but if you go to apply and you get told that you're not eligible for the promotion, you can just call the company, ask them when you're eligible again. You've already had it. They'll tell you, and then you can just wait until that period. That's why I would advise you to open one, wait 11 months, open the second one, because 11 to 12 months is usually when most companies reset that promotion for you. And then you'll be able to just do it seamlessly every single year. And you follow this same process for both American Express, Chase, any bank. If it's not one of those 2 banks and you want to double check that this is possible, you can always just call them and ask them, if I have 2 credit cards, can I reallocate the credit from one to the other? Most of the times they're going to say yes, unless it's maybe a small credit union or something like that, where you're not able to have multiple cards. But it all just kind of depends on the bank itself. Hopefully this video gave you guys some more insight on how to maximize your capital selling on Amazon. If you have any questions about the cards that I use or this process in general, you can leave a comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram. And if you want my help one-on-one, either starting or growing your Amazon business, there's a link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.